Hello and welcome to the UTS Stadium for the final Northern Premier League East match of the season between Dunston UTS and Stocksbridge Park Steels. I'm your commentator on the Stocksbridge Park Steels YouTube channel, Adam Allcroft, here for a massive game of football. For Dunston, the season really gets going again on Tuesday. They are second place, they know that. No automatic promotion, but they definitely have home advantage for the playoffs. Whoever wants to get promoted to the Northern Premier League Premier Division, they'll have to play through Dunston and beat Dunston at some point. For Stocksbridge, that is still up in the air. They're currently sitting third and in the best position of the four teams that want to occupy the last three slots of the playoffs, but they do have on paper the toughest tie of them all. And Stocksbridge and Dunston have had a bit of a relationship over the last few years on the final day of the season. 2 years ago, both Stocksbridge and Dunston were trying to get the final place in the playoffs. Both teams actually lost that day, but that meant Stocksbridge would go into the playoffs and would lose in the semi-finals to Stockton Town. Last year, it was also a game on the final day of the season, though that one had a bit less drama. Dunston were already in the playoffs, Steels were solidly mid-table. It was a very, very dull 0-0 draw. Today, a team with incredibly even records against each other. They will take each other on. So now let's go through the teams here now. Dunston UTS have made 8 changes ahead of this game as they look to rest players ahead of Tuesday's playoff semi-final. So in goal and captain is Dan Lowson, then it's Harvey Nearing, Chris McDonald, Rory Edwards, Jack Walker, JJ Crisp, Alfie Turnbull, Richard Coulson, Scott Robson, Saido Jallo and Dan Turner. The benches: David Robinson, Jude Swales, Craig Baxter, Liam Fear and JJ O'Donnell. David Robinson and JJ O'Donnell, the main two threats on the side, on the bench today. For Stocksbridge, it's unchanged from Monday's 2-0 win over Emley. So it's Ben Townsend in goal, Tom Charlesworth, Jack Tinker, Curtis Turner who's the captain, Elliot Owen, Paul Iggledon, Danny Deakin, Alex O'Connor, Luke Rawson, James Morrison and Oliver Greshlag. The bench is Elliot Murray, Jack Dorman, Tommy Marshall, Harrison Poulter and Thomas Poole. So just a final few handshakes in the middle here between the captains. Our referee today is Ian Johnston. He's ref 3 Stocksbridge games this season. Stocksbridge have won 1, lost the other 2. The assistant referees are David Mitchell and Reagan Webber. And there will be a side swap. So we'll just have the customary everyone having to go to the opposite ends. Keeper always with the longest walks. It's usually the most they run all game is at the start of a game before the sides are swapped. Hello to everyone who is listening already got very good listenership here on the YouTube. We have got a goal for Super Chats. You can give us just £2 if we get 10 of them, so 20 quid's worth. We'll do an interview with the player after the game, win, draw or lose, no matter how traumatic this all is. Well, we'll try to persuade one if it all goes wrong today. Loud Dunston support in the opposite stand to us in the Tommy Cooney stand. Plenty of Steels fans have travelled and I think they have finally made it out to the bar to the right of us. So we're just waiting for Scott Robson to get us away, and here we go. So Dunston in the all-blue kit, kicking from left to right, while Stocksbridge Park Steels in the claret and blue short shirt, claret shorts and claret socks, kicking from right to left. The Steels lost their first game in this kit just a month ago, but it was just as important as today. It was that semi-final loss to Hallam in the Sheffield Senior Cup. Early goal kick for Ben Townsend to take. We will, of course, keep you up to date with all the other scorelines from this league. And try and make sure that you're aware of where we are in the table, what could happen, and if Stocksbridge are in real peril. Stocksbridge do need to win. That is the permutation. Stocksbridge need to win to be sure of a place in the top 5. Already goal in the Northern Premier League East. It's in a game that is irrelevant at this point. Sheffield FC are leading 1-0 against Brighouse. Luke Aldrich scoring. Both teams already relegated as Luke Rawson is penalised here. I thought it was a whistle had blown, but the game will continue. Morris heads it into the middle. Morris touches out, goes to Rawson. Is he offside? No! It's an early goal for the Steels! It started as well as it could be. There will be a bit of controversy, you have to admit, because A whistle did blow for what seems to be a foul, and that is what Sado Jallo is complaining about at the moment. But the Steels are leading 1-0 after just 1 minute here. Luke Rawson. Actually, the goal, sorry, it's just been classified as Oliver Grezlak. So, sorry, Oliver Grezlak with that massive goal for the Steels. Just a minute gone, minute and 12 seconds on our clock, the earliest Steels goal of the season. And, well, Ian Richards could not have dreamed of a better start than that. Of course, that means as scoreline stands, Stocksbridge would be in the playoffs. Dunston on the ball now. In the middle to Rory Edwards, a young lad into the game today, getting a good chance here. Neary, one of the few that started on Monday. A massive win against Newton Aycliffe. Switches it over to McDonald. Controls it. Grezlak is the man harassing. Goes back here to Crisp, who knocks it over the top. Goes on top, comes off Turner, back into Dunston. Put it in midfield. Eagledon tries to clear it, goes to O'Connor. Out to the right, Charles clears it upfield. Will be covered by Crisp, and he goes back to Lowson. Dunston get us back underway. Goes to McDonald on the left. Long ball forward, looking for Robson, but Eagledon will head it away. Goes back to McDonald. Goes forward again to Owen, who will head that out. Turner then heads it on back in midfield. McDonald steps up to Kane. He's been put under some pressure though by Grezlak. Already scored one today. The young Polish winger, converted from central midfielder to winger this season. Jallo has dropped deep to collect. Back in defence, Rawson causes a problem. Gets the tackle in, but it ricochets out to Neary, who will get it forward. Some good footwork to evade Deakin. Then switch ball here, looking for Turner, but headed away. Stocksbridge did take the lead at home to Dunston all the way back up on that bank holiday weekend in August, but Dunston went on to win 3-1, so game definitely not done. There's the ball switched out, and Grezlak fighting for it here, and feels it had gone out, hadn't done so. I've got another goal to tell you about elsewhere, but now it's opened up for Neary on the right hand side. Good ball in the middle. Tinker blocked it with a trailing leg. Neary's just going to block. He's gets into it, so it will go out for a Dunston throw close to the flag. Goal for Pontefract Collieries. They're leading 1-0 against Garforth Town. Jack Boyle has scored from the spot. Of course, what it means at the current scoreline side, Stocksbridge wouldn't just be in the playoffs, they would have home advantage on Tuesday night. As the current scoreline stand, that would be against Belper Town. Going to be a long throw from Dunston here. Launch ball in. Powerful header from Jallo, and it's not far off. The Steels will need to keep a closer eye on the likes of Shadow Jallo, who's just hovering on the edge of the penalty area. Moved in quickly with a powerful header. Thankfully, wide of Ben Townsend's goal, and Wren's 1-0 to the Steels here with 4 minutes on the clock. The Steels did win here on their last visit to the UTS Stadium. That was at the start of the 22-free season. England launch it forward, and Grezlak will battle for it here with Walker. Walker does get it away quite well, keeps it in play as Coulson heads it on, and then Tinker gets it forward. Morris fights for it. There's going to be a foul from both teams, and both teams claiming for the throw, but it will be a Dunston throw. Could have been given any particular way that would be, as Grezlak almost wins the ball from a loose patch from Coulson, but Dunston clear it and switch it. Charlesworth racing to the ball with Dan Turner. Charlesworth gets to it first, sends it down the line, but only to McDonald, who then can only pass it out of play, pass it into the Stocksbridge bench. Hello to Caroline Frott and Paul Aldrich celebrating in our comments after Steele's got the early goal. Gus goes into the Dunston box, but playing by Dan Lowson. And forward to the right to Harvey Neary. Clip ball forward, controlled. Eagledon will knock it away, but then back to Turnbull, who knocks it forward. Out it goes to Owen, who Clears it away, out to Rawson, chests it down well. Needs a bit of support as he's holding the ball up under a lot of pressure and does eventually lose the ball to a good tackle by Jack Walker. But then Grezlak wins the ball off Chris and then knocks it off Chris. It's a throw into the Steels on this left-hand side. Loud Stocksbridge support behind the goal to our left. Plenty have travelled up as the Steels look to secure a playoff spot for the second time in 3 years. Ian Richards would be the first Stocksbridge manager to get a Steels team to the playoff twice. No other manager has done that in our 39-year history. Ball is with Tinker. Put it down now to Rawson, who's gone out to the left, trying to keep it in, but he can't do so. It will be a Dunston throw. So back with Neary for the throw-in to Dunston. Launch down. Jallow will head it on. Charlesworth, good header away. Rawson tries to head it on, but beaten to it. Goes into midfield. A bit of a battle for it, but it's sent back to Chris, who distributes it out to McDonald. Now out to Turner it goes. Turner drill pass forward, looking for Robson. Eagledon, though, gets to it first and just clears it out. Dunston throwing on the left-hand side. Like, well into the Steels' half. 7.5 minutes gone into this game. We'll try and keep you up to date with some of the other playoff games here. Because Wombwell and Durnan District are in a playoff final in the Northern Counties Division 1. That one, hell of a game that is really in South Yorkshire today. Probably should have got more attention than it actually did got, considering the attention other teams get in our league. Well, in our area, as another Dunston clears his slice onto the top of the Tommy Cooney stand. It's a Stocksbridge throw, much to the delight of our travelling support. Charles Zafir will have it on for the throw-in. What a player he's been this season. This is in the middle to O'Connor, back to Charlesworth, left-footed, send it forward for Morris. Headed away though by Walker, and then heading for those two Charlesworth. Clip forward and then cleared away for Chris. Goes all the way out to Owen, left-footed forward, switching it out to the right, and then McDonald clears it away. Eagledon will head it forward, and Turner will knock it to the right. Charlesworth, bit of a juggling act, and it was a literal juggling act because he used his hand with it. It is a free kick to Dunston and a chance for this home side to get a ball into the box from this sort of set piece. 9 minutes gone. Already feels like 50 minutes if you're an away supporter desperate to win this one. So, a free kick opportunity for Dunston. We take in here by the young man. Goal goes in. Poor free kick. Turner clears. McDonald gets to with the clearance. Out to the left it goes again. Ball goes forward, blocked, and it could work well for Robson here. Robson on the left-hand side, keeps it in, turns to the left. Back it goes, and to the outside. Stocksbridge have crowded that area pretty well, trying to prevent the cross, and do prevent the cross. And then Charlesworth clears it away. Out it goes to Neary, headed away. Turner heads it back. Goes to Morris, could be a counter opportunity. Morris lofts it over the top. Grezlak going to fight with Neary for it. Neary heads it back. Grezlak racing onto it, but Lowson gets to it first. Good work from Lowson, being aware of the situation that was developing and how that could have become a real problem really quickly. There's the ball launched forward. Jallow heads it up in the air, lost it for a bit, but it does find his own man. Back to Jallow. Not to left. Tinker controls, and Tinker will go forward, and he's charging forward here. It's a big long run from Tinker, but it's cleared out. And Dinker will turn it to Tinker. Forward, look for Orson, blocked. Oh, and Neary has the ball. He sends it forward. Eagledon will block it, goes out, looking for Grezlak, but head away. Turner can't get a clean header. Jallow controls, but well in by Owen, who then clatters into his own man of Turner. Ball goes forward, looking for Robson. Townsend's a bit out of position, but Robson forced to the right by Deakin and Eagledon, but then free space for Turnbull, moves into box, cross goes in the middle. Jallow somehow misses the finish at the left. Stocksbridge living dangerously here. Great play from Dunston, catching out on Steele's players being out of position. Jallow should have got a touch there at the far post. It really should be level here, but the Steels live on for now. 1-0. 11 minutes gone. over back in Sheffield at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday are leading 1-0 against Portsmouth. Callum Patterson has scored. Stocksbridge just got a free kick for a foul on Curtis Turner. So will be a Ben Townsend free kick. Looking to match a club record today. A clean sheet will see him match the club record of 22 clean sheets in a season, held by Andy Carney since 1996. Ball forward, Townsend launch it forward, tried headed away by Chris, goes way out in it. We'll go for Stocksbridge throw. I think a second goal would ease the nerves of everyone involved with Stocksbridge at the moment. Otto O'Connor back to Charlesworth, knocked over the top, but no one's there for it. Headed away by Chris, and out for throw in. Back to Charlesworth now. Taking his time with it. Before throwing it, look for Grezlak. Struggles to get control, there's a trip. Steals have a free kick a few yards away from the corner of the box. Good work from Ollie Grezlak, he earned that foul. He did step into it a bit, but that is how the game is played these days. Shocking scoreline in the Premier League happening. Southampton are beating Fulham 1-0. Stevens, the scorer, Brighton also beating West Ham 1-0. Ayari with that goal. So the Steels are a chance. Steele so strong from set pieces this season. Elliot Owen, the centre back, has scored 7 goals thanks to that. Paul Iggulden's not too far behind on 5. It's been a very strong year for these sorts of free kicks and corners as well, which you're yet to see. But Ian Johnston here, he's going to stop the game. I think Sado Jallo is going to get a talkie to. Elliot Owen, who we just talked about, was pushed to the ground. Sado Jallo's had 2 big chances in this game. And Jallo and Owen are going to be summoned over by Ian Johnston, who we know from seeing him in previous games is a stickler for the rules. He will not stand for any nonsense. And I think we're seeing a sign of that now. They will both be let off with a warning, but usually what happens, we get this sort of warning and then immediately after this is taken, the free kick's given. And here it comes, the free kick. Cross going in, and Rawson's almost on the end of that. In the end, Lowson able to claim. 13 minutes gone in the game, 1-0 to the Steels. Goal to tell you about, but it is one that doesn't affect any of the playoff battle. Sherwood Colliery leading 1-0 against Grimsby Borough. That's already relegated Sherwood. Charlie Clements the scorer. Had a few in the last few games of the season. Jack Walker sends the ball forward, but it's just going to go aimlessly back to Ben Townsend. Ball forward, Rawson fights for it, loses out on that to McDonald, who goes forward. Well won by Turner, but just goes back here for Rory Edwards. Knocked on then from the left, looking for Robson into the middle, and then out to play it will go, and Stocksbridge will get that throw in. So back with Charlesworth, who launches the ball forward. Rawson heads it on, and then Morris will get onto it. Brings up well, but he can't keep it in play, and it will be a Dunston throw in. So Dunston get the ball back, launch it upfield, and Charlesworth will get the last header onto that, and will be a throw in for the home team. McDonald, man with the hands on the ball. His time, and then eventually we'll just send it right down the field, but Owen will head that one away, headed behind by the Dunston man. McDonald following it, and it's going to actually be a Stockbridge throw. I think Dunston, the way they were tracking back, thought that might be one of theirs. So back now with Charlesworth for the throw-in, who's been told, it's in your own half, get back there. And if that doesn't prove how much of a stickler of the rules this referee is, there you go. Charlesworth launches it up in the air, knocked away by McDonald, and then took away by Coulson. Charles will try and head back in the midfield, and it's a few headers before it's Dunston clear it again, but then Charles will return it right back. Rawson will fight for it, bounces favourably for him, knocks it over the right, looking for Grezlak. I don't think he'll be able to beat the bounce though, and he doesn't. Stocksbridge are appealing for a free kick, for a push on the back on Grezlak, but it isn't given. Thing quickly with Jack Walker. We'll send it back to Lawson. Colwell, Grezlak will press before the ball is sent away. Charles will head it forward. Can't find his own man though, so it's just going to be with Chris for now. So he's going to send a big one football forward. Townsend's racing out to get that, and he will claim it. Gets a bit of late contact as well. So back with the goalkeeper in Townsend, who was surprised this morning with the Steels fans all wearing Super Ben Townsend shirts that were provided by our sponsor Graphics. Launch forward. Helen Marty called the goal scorer for Stocksbridge was Oliver Grezlak. As there's a free kick, Grezlak, who was just on the ball there, just earned a free kick off Ick. Got fouled on the right hand side, and it looks like we're going to get our first yellow of the game. It looks like it's Chris McDonald who's going to get that yellow. Not in the box, is it? No. It's a free kick. So Dan Lawson's not particularly happy. He's gone over to protest this. And it's going to be Jack Walker, the man who he's been getting a talk to. And there's talks continue between the Dunston defence and Ian Johnson, and there goes the yellow card, much to the delight. Jack Walker with that yellow card. We will just confirm that in a second when it goes through officially. And Seals with another brilliant opportunity. Danny Deakin will be the man standing over the ball once again, Stocksbridge's very own set-piece specialist. I think Dunston, what they're going to need to do is control their temperament at the moment, because they've got very upset at this set piece, but they're going to have to just get back, be organised, because Stocksbridge very strong at these, and Dunston don't want to concede and let it be 2-0. That's the wrong sort of momentum to be going into the playoffs with. And it'll give the Steels confidence if they end up back here. JJ Crisp has also been given a yellow card during that. Deakin's looking for the near post, and he almost finds it. Well saved by Dan Lawson. Deakin trying to catch him out on that occasion. And now Dunston trying to move quickly. Harvey Neary going down the right, moves into the centre, looks for the switch. It's a really good switch to find Dan Turner. There's a second ball on the pitch here as the shot is blocked. Back to McDonald, who tries to put the ball in the box. Steels are able to defend. O'Connor knocks it to Charles, who's being pressed by McDonald. And then I think Deakin's clearance, it doesn't go out because it was blocked by Charles. The ball goes in the middle. Eagledon heads it away, back out to Rory Edwards before Turner tackles and clears it out. Head on by Grezlak. Rawson will take the touch. He's got Grezlak beyond him. He moves out well. Now we'll switch it. Morris gets it. Poor touch by Morris, takes it behind him. It slows it down, but Tinker's moving forward on the left. Tinker now holding it up into the middle to Alex O'Connor. Switches it out to the right to Charlesworth. Stocksbridge switching to a more patient style as they're looking to get it down the right, but McDonald intercepts and clears it out, and it will stay in play. And Dunston will get forward and could get an attack of their own if Steels miss out on this. But Owen, strong header out, and Jallo clips Owen on the way there, and it will be a free kick to the Steels. And Sado Jallo is going to be getting a talking to from this referee. Other goals to tell you about, some more affecting some North East teams. Carlton Town are leading 1-0 away at Bishop Auckland. Lamin Manor has scored, while North Ferriby have took the lead against Heaton Stannington. Alex Flett, the scorer. Then Townsend is putting a free kick, and he has taken a few yards. Takes it a few back now after the referee spotted him. I think the fans were the ones who pointed that one out. So now it's back with Townsend for this free kick. Here he goes, right footed, flown flat. Turner, more of a defensive header from Curtis Turner than it was an attacking one. And now Dunston have a chance to break. Turner will cover it and he'll allow it to go out of play. Stocksbridge throwing right in front of us here. This is an important one from elsewhere. Emily are leading 1-0 against Consett. More important for the Steels to win. We'll just give an update when the league updates on what that means. Ball goes down the right, scans out with there's been shirt pulling from Grejlak, so that means the scoreline stands. Emily move into 4th place. Newton Aycliffe are out of the playoffs, and as current results stand, the Steels will be facing Emily at home. Dunston will face Belper at home, as current scoreline stand. Jack Cowgill is on his scored for Emily, but there's a problem here because Alfie Turnbull's going down the right. But tackle and goes out to play. Turnbull thought it stayed in. Continued, put a good cross in as well. But so, and it is actually going to be a Stocksbridge throw. Jack Tinker will take. 22 minutes gone in this game. 1-0 to the Steels. Early goal from Oliver Grejlak. Ball launched forward. Rawson will head on by Walker, and it goes out for a throw. Tinker now will launch the ball. Rawson heads it on, head away by Crisp. Back in defence to McDonald, who will cover it and he'll clear it away, even though Dan Lowson was shouting for it. Owen then heads it away. Tinker heads it beyond, gets a bit of a clip, goes out of play. Will be a Dunston throw, and Jack Tinker's going to get himself a booking for knocking the ball away. It will be the first booking of the game for the Steels. Ball back from with Neary at the moment for this throw in after Jack Tinker got himself in the book. Ball going forward now. Head away into the middle and headed into the area, but England clears, but only back to Edwards, then go to Jallow. Jallow turns, shoots, great save Townsend, back to Jallow on the left, look for a cross, but then blocked by Morris back defending. Cleared out it goes on the left-hand side. Stocksbridge have had to defend a few chances here. Townsend's first major save though. Ball switched out now to Neary. Neary controlling well. Knocked over the top, and Edwards will try and get onto it. Turner's just covering him and will just go out for a goal kick. Portsmouth equalising Sheffield Wednesday. Blair is the scorer for the Pompey. And Shrewsbury Town, already relegated, have to play against Barnsley. John Marcus has scored. So back with Townsend. Townsend launching the ball up. Rawson heads it on, and a bit miscontrolled initially by Chris, but does get it away and gets it into the field quite nicely in the end. Ball knocked over the top, look for Robson, and it's been headed beyond Townsend, but Eagledon clears it off the line. Oh, Townsend caught out on that occasion, rushing out too much. Scott Robson got the header, but not enough power on it. Paul Eagledon back to clear it away and keep the clean sheet. Steels living dangerously here. Brighouse have equalised in Sheffield FC. Reece Platter the scorer. 1-1 at the oldest stadium. Well, oldest club in the world at not the oldest stadium. Home of Football Stadium, I think is what's as Grejlak has it controlled. Grejlak drilling it towards Rawson. He chests it down. Morris battles for it. Morris gets a bit of control. He's under pressure now, but then will be shoved off the ball very nicely indeed by Richard Coulson. And then well pressed by the Steels. Grejlak on the ball now. Trying to move it to the right to O'Connor. Does do so. Looking back for Grejlak. Comes off Coulson, and then he'll get the ball before it goes out for a throw, and Coulson pressing his own off. Bit of a loose pass, and Chris has to just boot that one away. Eagledon will get it into midfield. Deakin on it. He's going to try and take it out wide. He wants to go beyond his man, but couldn't do so as he gets back to Turner. Then out to Tinker, who's going to come forward. Now Jallow tracking him. Not forward for Morris, who won't get the ball. Neary will tackle and then cleared away. Owen battles for the ball. Missed out on that. Robson won that battle. Goes back to Eagledon though, who will return it to Townsend, who just had his blushes saved. On the halfway line now. Sends it away. Rawson will look to head this way. He does head it on. Gresham trying to get onto it, but this has been well covered here by Jack Walker, who turns out, clears it out, and gives out to Curtis Turner. Attack on again. O'Connor back to Turner. Gets it out to the right to Gresham. Out to right into O'Connor, forward to Deakin, back to O'Connor, who tried to get into the box here, but he overhit it, cleared away. Owen heads it out to the right to Charles. Heads it on. Out to the left now for Dunston, and being forced backwards here, and eventually out to play will be a Dunston throw, though O'Connor got the last touch. 27 minutes gone in this game, 1-0 to the Steels. Wunwell Town are leading 2-0 against Durning District in that Northern Counties Division 1 playoff final. The ball goes forward from Dunston, but they get it now back in midfield if it was cleared away, and eventually goes out of play. Dunston throw again. Dunston having more of the possession in this game. More pressure on the Steels here because Belper are now leading as well. 1-0 away at Bridlington Town. Owen Evans the scorer. Means Belper move into fourth. 3 of the 4 teams that need to win are winning. Only Newton Aycliffe not. Would mean Stocksbridge face Belper at home, while Emley would be the visitors to Dunston. Charles heads that ball forward. And out to play for a throw-in. Now in the field, switch out to Neary. Neary on the right-hand side. Take it under control. Face it with Tinker. Into the box. Well tackled by Morris. Morris now tries to send it forward, and Jallo will block it. Turner will try and block it, but now it will be a free kick to Dunston. Turner a bit too heavy. Hey. Quickly take it to Edwards. Out back it goes to Crisp. Out to the left. And back to Chris. Switch ball here. Looking for Neary. Brings it down really well. Lovely lofted ball to the far post. Eagledon gets the header away. And then O'Connor clears it with another header. But McDonald gets it back in the middle. Well, out of bounds. Jallo gets the touch. Volley towards goal though. From Dan Turner. It's wider than what he was from the goal. 28 minutes gone. 1-0 to the Steels. Pressure on Stocksbridge with other score lines not going our way at the moment. Townsend here with the goal kick. Sends it well forward. Wilson will battle for it. Goes on, and Morris heads it on. Gresham will try and get to it, but it's Neary gets it first, who heads it back to Lawson. Quickly sent out to Neary. He takes the touch. Cleared away. Out to Eagledon, who gets it out all the way back to Coulson, who sends it out to the left, and no one able to get on that. Charles will just allow it to go out for a Stocksbridge throw. So ball with Charles for the throw as we enter the last third of this first half. Charles will launch forward, head up into the air, and Rawson will win the header, knocks it over the top, but no one's on the line waiting potentially for that, so Lawson will be unchallenged as it gets to him, and now we'll boot that one away. Launch away. Eagledon, good header out, but only back to Dunston it goes, then out to Turner. He forced back into midfield. Moment as he gets it out to McDonald. He's been put under pressure, lost one over the top. Oh, one in the air there by Robson. Goes to Jallo, controls it well. Very talented striker, Sado Jallo. And some lovely football. They got some applause from the home fans. He goes back to left, then back to McDonald. Into the middle. To Walker, controlling it, going forward, out to the right to Neary. Neary moving into the middle, and then over to Chris, into Coulson now, and over to left to McDonald. Okay, Charles challenging for it and misses out on that challenge. Lovely work from Dan Turner, nice little spin, got him out of the way. And now the switch is on, but he just overhits that. He just liked everything but the pass, that from Dunston. A very good play from him. So, ball going back for a tinker throw. Ball throw away. Rawson knocks it on, goes to Greg, chests it down, but Stocksbridge lost the ball there, seemingly giving up on it. I don't think they had to either. And then Owen's going to be penalised there for going through the back of Scott Robson, and the Steelers have a dangerous set piece to defend, and one they can't really afford to concede. So it will be Harvey Neary standing over the ball. Big chance now for Dunston from the set piece. A nervy energy at the moment. Dunston can play this as calmly as they like. As Neary stands over the ball. Ian Johnson's just been telling a few off. Here comes Neary. Free kick, lofted that far hand side. Headed towards goal. It's just wide of the far post. I think it's Dan Turner, man, who managed to connect to that far end, and Stocksbridge have survived a few chances against them now. You've got to wonder how long our luck can last. That header just going wide of the opposite post. Wolves are leading 1-0 against Leicester. Cunha, the scorer. As Townsend sends it right out and hits the top of the stand here, and you just wonder if a few of the nerves start to affect the Steels a bit of the importance of this match. Ball goes back to Neary. Into the middle it goes to Coulson. Into defence. Crisp on it. Switching out to left to McDonald, who's bombed well forward here. Puts the ball in, look at the near post, and Turner touch it, gets it into the middle. Tinker onto it first. Can only slice his clearance up into the air though. The battle for it, Grejlak pushed away from it. Edwards will head it onto the left-hand side to Dan Turner. And it's a good tackle from Grejlak, and they're appealing for a Stocksbridge throw, but won't be given. Dunston throwing. Dunston will keep this attack going. So throwing here by McDonald. Launched throw right in the box. Good header by Owen. Stocksbridge trying to make sure it don't go in, but the cross is going to go in instead. Dunston got to it first. Cleared away again, still in the box. Headed over the top and the bar eventually. Steels once again just surviving dangerously. The Steels are getting a bit lucky at the moment, and Stocksbridge will want to get that second goal to ease some of the nerves. Durham Districts have got one back against Wombwell. 2-1 there. Northern Counties Division 1 player final. And Barnsley derby for it. Townsend launches it forward. Morris tries to flick on and doesn't do as Rawson does, but then well cleared away. Back to Owen, who will head it well forward again. Head away again. Turner and onto it. Tinker will be the next one on. Short pass to Deacon, short to Turner, then back to Deacon on the left. Some nice play from Stocksbridge. Gets it out to Morris on the left, and then trying to get it to Deacon, but the throw-in's going to be given Dunston's way as it goes out to play. Stocksbridge cannot make anything stick. They're yet to even have a corner kick in this game. It's that early goal that is the difference between the sides. Ball switched by Neary over the top of McDonald, but he does keep it in on this quite wide pitch. In the middle to Neary, who's moved centrally. Out it goes to Coulson. Well controlled by Coulson, who has some space to move into. Then the pass beyond goes to the right, and it evades two men as it goes now to Turnbull. Back it goes to Robson. Robson, good cross in the middle, and Iggulden heads it away. Teed up for the volley, but then Charles gets it, clears it out. Goes to Morris, who chests it down, and then he boots it away. Wilson will try and chase, but it should probably go out for a throw-in, and that is exactly what we're doing with Dunstan's throw. 35 minutes gone. 1-0 to the Steels. Ball going forward towards that left. Charles will just monitor that as it goes out to play for a goal kick. it goes with Townsend for the goal kick. Time being taken by the Steel's goalkeeper as the pressure continues to mount. All long. Headed away though again. Stocksbridge not winning any aerial battles at the moment. They're going to have to think of something different. But that switch goes to Tinker, who's got space to move into. Big touch from Tinker, but he's going to continue going forward. Shrugs off a tackle. Tinker continues. Gets it out to the left to Morris. Morris makes it up with man, right-footed, puts the cross in the middle, blocked away. Morris is going to try and be the first onto it. Neary is the man who gets to it. He's been forced backwards though, and that should be a corner kick, but nope, goal kick. I thought it is actually. Morris must have got somewhat of touching on that as he was challenging. But better from the Steels, who have been under a lot of pressure for the most of this first half since taking the lead just minutes into the match, being classed as 2 minutes. I had it on my clock as a minute 12. So 72 seconds. All long from Walker, but cleared by Charles into the midfield. And Stocksbridge losing the battle at the moment. Ball not long looking for Jallow. Iggulden heads it away, and O'Connor will keep it in on the right. Into Charleston, back to Iggulden, takes the touch and sends it down the line, but headed away again. Turner heads it back to Charleston, who knocks it forward. Deacon could track this, but well headed back by Walker, who gets it back to Lawson. Emily now 2-0 up on Concert. Luke Parkin has scored from the spot. Goal difference won't matter for them, but it means that we're not going to get a helping hand from the Durham team. Ball forward to the right here, but Deakin, well, it's actually not Deakin, Alfie Turnbull can't control, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. 38 minutes gone. Ball thrown down the line, looking for Rawson, and he does head it on to Morris, who then knocks it on. Grezlak's going to try and win this race, but it's not backed by Crisp, and it's well behind goal. Dowson's going to have to boot this one away. He controls it, and he does boot away. Will just go out for a throw-in, though. Crisp with a bit of a hospital pass for his goalkeeper. Thankfully, it wasn't for them. He wasn't on target. So it's a good chance to try and create something from this. To Turner trying to get down that left for Morris, but Stockbridge do lose ball. Morris sliding tackle, gets the ball back. Deakin puts the cross in. Grezlak header just goes up and loops in the air before Lawson is able to claim it. Ball bounces forward. Townsend will just follow it as it goes out for a goal kick. Stockbridge will have to improve their defence in that second half. You can't see Dunston missing more of the type of chances they've had. So Townsend now. 260 here today at the UTS Stadium. Healthy Stocksbridge sport bolstering that, which we're glad of. It's not usual we could say we have a large away spot. I think we brought 2 people here the last time we visited the stadium. Obviously last time we faced Dunston away was at played at the Concert Stadium due to the problems they had here. Pitch looks great though this year, I have to say. As O'Connor's a bit wrong-footed by Neary. Neary moving diagonally, then pins the ball back to McDonald. Knocks it forward to the left, knocked on here towards Jallow, but loses the ball to Iggulden, who plays over only back to Neary, who moves into this like defensive midfield role here, and then will get tripped and earns the foul. 40 minutes gone, 1-0 to the Steels, 5 minutes to go in this first half. So McDonald will take this free kick, and Dunston will throw plenty of men forward to try and create opportunity. Their crosses have been nothing but short of brilliant so far in this game. It's been scary to watch. Here comes the diagonal ball into the box. Owen will head away, but only back to Coulson, who knocks it out to the right. They're looking for the ideal crossing opportunity as Robson looks to battle Morris, and Morris gets shoved over by Robson, and as he was trying to battle through, and it will be a Steels free kick. So Townsend will come up to take this free kick. As continue for me anyway. Huge game for Steels, and currently is going to plan, but Dunston are not on their holidays. They are not resting up at this point. As Townsend sends the ball forward, headed away. Hey, and then back to Iggledon, who gets it forward, and Stocksbridge losing this midfield battle, losing the little touches at the moment, but Deacon then wins that little touch. Turner now launches up, looking for Morris to chase, but Neary should have it covered, and back to Lawson, who claims it. Forward to Edwards, who turns, Deacon following, but gets it out to the right, and then Deacon can't control, goes out for a Stocksbridge throw. Turnbull can control that one. Stocksbridge with the throw in.
Come on, lads, keep going, come on.
Stocksbridge launch forward, head away, and then on, and Deacon will only head that up into the air, and then out to play it goes eventually. Another Stocksbridge throw. Stocksbridge get to keep possession for a bit longer than they have been during this first half. Tinker now launches that ball upfield. Headed away though, Jallo's looking to control it, he'll head it on. Going to be a 50-50, and Charles, we've got a bit of a touch onto it with a high foot. That would have been penalised if it came anywhere near anyone. Charles just gets caught out of the ball, knocked over the top of him to Turner. Turner sends down left to Robson, who's moved on to left to try and take advantage of Charles not being back. Charles is trying to race back into position, and then eventually Turner blocks it, and Charles is on the ball. His clearance blocked, and it could lead to Steels in a bit of trouble. Deacon on the ball, back to Townsend, who launches that one away. Rawson will fight for it, and he's having a bit of a wrestling match here. Eventually does head it on. Greshak gets the touch. Can he get past Walker now? Walker's covering it really well, turns away with the ball to his left and sends it away and out for a throw-in. So Stocksbridge have the throw on the right-hand side. Steels ending this half well. 43 minutes gone. Heaton Stannington have equalised against North Ferriby. Jay Errington has scored. Charles throwing it into the right here. Morris into the middle to Greshak. Takes a touch. Weird volley on the left, but sort of miscues, and that will allow Dunston to get onto it. But Tinker almost wins the ball off Jallo, but he forces Jallo very far down wide, and Jallo slips. Tinker looks to win the ball, and Stocksbridge running free kick as Jallo holds down Tinker. He's been given as Greshak. It'll be correct. So just had Luke Rawson's dad make sure to tell us that it was actually Luke Rawson who scored that only goal. 40 was, that's what I said at first, but then it all came through as Oliver Greshak and all the official documentation that we get through. Turner will have a free kick here on the left hand side, his first free kick of the game. Scored from a free kick against Bridlington last Saturday. It was a bit further inwards than this, and you can see Lawson has scouted that type of free kick with where he's standing at the far post. He does not want to get done like Jack Hall got done that last Saturday. That free kick, right footed, it's very low one, cleared away at the first person, disappointing, but Charlesworth will get the ball, he has to hover it back, turns, going to be under pressure by Turnbull, and have to just send it back to Townsend. Stocksbridge won't be happy that's way, and sliced ball by Townsend, but it made its way to Tinker thankfully for Owen able to launch it away. Rawson will challenge for it here as he gets it on the corner of the box on this left hand side, trying to get it to Morris, finds Morris on the left, he's followed by Neary, back to Turner, he's been pressed as well. Sneaks a pass looking to Deacon on the left, who will take it back out to the left. Now to Turner, back to Deacon. Trying to get some space here. Dunston's pressing brilliant. And now trying to some quick passing, but Jallo's just won the ball there really well. And then cleared away. Tinker's trying to keep on tackles, wins it back to Turner. Turner knocks it over the top, looking for Greshak. Greshak trying to keep it in. Will volley back in. Rawson looking for the near post. Knocks it away from the keeper. It's it loose in the 6-yard area. Cleared away. Goes to McDonald on the left, who's able to carry away a heart-stopping moment for Dan Lawson. McDonald will carry it away. Forward to Jallo, who turns well. Got some space. Knocks it looking for Robson, but Iggledon clears it. Turner, good touch away, gets it away, but into midfield, and Dunston return it out. Tinker will hopefully get this on the left. He's just going to launch that one away. And back it goes here to Jack Walker. Had a minute of added time here. We don't know how much has been given. It's back now with Chris, who drills it forward, and Charles wanted to win that, but Turner was the man who came away with the ball. Back it goes though into defence to Walker, to Crisp, I'm sorry. Switches it really nicely to Turnbull, who now can go one-on-one with Tinker. Cross in, far post, Owen heads away. He appeals for a free kick there for Jallow coming in on Owen, not given. The pressure will continue, Turnbull trying to keep it in, but then can't do so. It will be a Stocksbridge throw. Colton Town leading 2-0 against Bishop Auckland. Alex Howell's the scorer. Ball going forward, but only back to Chris. And all the way back he goes, but that will be it. Half time it is. It was 72 seconds on the clock when, well, I think it might actually have been Luke Rawson struck home and put the Steels ahead in this game. Since then, it's Dunston the one with the big chances. They've had one cleared off the line, had a few just wide of the post, and Townsend's made a good save. But for now, the Steels are doing everything they need to do. They're 1-0 up and in third place in the playoffs. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Welcome back to the UTS Stadium for this Northern Premier League East match between Dunston UTS and Stocksbridge Park Steels. It's 1-0 to the Steels. We have corrected it. Luke Rawson just got fooled by the official picture being Oliver Grezlak. It was just a mistake. Unfortunately, can happen in the midst of the madness of a goal. So Steels leading 1-0, though Dunston have had more of the chances, and you can say the Steels are lucky still to be ahead. So now that we're just getting a final few okays from our referee Ian Johnson, and we will be underway in a moment for a huge second half. As Stocksbridge desperately try and make sure that this is not the last 45 minutes they play this season, and make sure that they are able potentially to come back here next Saturday. We are underway in the second half, so Stocksbridge Park Steels are in the claret and blue shirts, claret shorts, claret socks, kicking from left to right, while Dunston are in the all blue kit, kicking from right to left. The teams are as follows, no change at the half, so it's Dan Lowson in goal, the captain today for Dunston, Harvey Neary, Chris McDonald, Rory Edwards, Jack Walker, JJ Chris, Alfie Turnbull, Richard Coulson, Scott Robson, Sado Jallow and Dan Turner. For Dunston it's David Robinson, Jude Swales, Craig Baxter. The ball goes into the box, O'Connor gets a touch and it's going to be covered by Coulson, who has to send out for a throw-in. Stocksbridge starting off hot in this second half. We'll go with the Stocksbridge team then. Ben Townsend in goal, and Tom Charlesworth, Jack Tinker, Curtis Turner the captain, Elliot Owen, Paul Eagledon, Danny Deakin, Alex O'Connor, Luke Rawson, James Morrison, the Grezlak, the benches, Elliot Murray, Jack Dorman, Tommy Marshall, Harrison Poulton, Thomas Poole. Goes to Morris, who's looking to turn to get the cross in. He's going to play it back to Deakin. He's being forced back. Again, Dunston's defence, ever since they conceded, has been rock solid. It's a great pass look for Tinker though, and well intercepted by Neary. Neary having a brilliant game in right back. I wonder if we'll see Tommy Marshall soon to try and give him a different sort of challenge to what James Morris offers. Or at least switch Grezlak on to left. On to Tinker now, who plays into midfield to Turner. Have to get back to Charlesworth. Takes the touch and he's going to send one down on the right. Grezlak will try and challenge McDonald for it. McDonald has it covered for now and will play it back into defence. Just coming out with it is Chris. Launch for looking for Robson, who's come onto the left, but overhead out for a throw-in. So back now with Charlesworth, who's going to be told to get a few steps back. And there we go. So Charlesworth will launch that forward and head it out. There'll be another Stocksbridge throw, despite Chris McDonald's appeals. So back with Charlesworth now. Another throw-in, right down the line, aimed at Luke Rawson. Guessing goes into midfield, Ross Fashman, but misses down there for 50. Edwards gets it, and then McDonald clears it away. We'll be out for another throw-in, right, very close to being in front of us here. Might be right in front of us. So Charlesworth will do it. It was just inside the Dunston half. Lots of arguments about where it will be. Ball thrown, look for Rawson, goes all the way to Bridlington. He's trying to control it. McDonald heads away, but then headed out to the left. But Dunston failed to keep it in, and Stocksbridge will have it on the right side. Stocksbridge starting as they wanted to, putting the pressure on the Dunston defence. So back with Charles will be a short throw here, throw in the middle to O'Connor, back to Charles from the right, trying to control but juggling, it's just getting lost in that midfield for a bit, but Bridlington gets it, slips it back to O'Connor, O'Connor out to the right to Morris, Morris turns, but then McDonald, really good defending, gets his body in front of him and makes sure it goes out to play for a goal kick. Ball out to the right now, as Neary has controlled, what a game Neary's had by the way, all the way forward, looking for Owen. Oh yeah, and he heads it away. Belper leading 2-0 against Bridlington. The substitute and former Steel Jack Watson has scored, so there are no favours elsewhere other than Ossett holding Newton Aycliffe. Ball into the mid defence. Out to the left now to McDonald. Up into defence again. Switch out to left, looking to get it onto that right wing. Tinker will head it away, but it's about to get onto it. Neary gets onto it, knocked forward, but Owen heads away. Be back in Dunston's ball though, and they're going to keep control of it actually. Back to right to Edwards, forward it goes to Robson, who's under a lot of pressure. And back it goes to Edwards, up forward and controlling, trying to get it out of the right. Goes loose and it will be out for a Stocksbridge for So no favours elsewhere. Tinker launching it forward. Graves like battling for a bit. Just goes almost bouncing in the field. O'Connor will collect it though. Switches out to Charlesworth, and it's opened up a bit here for the Steels. Out to Rawson. Controls it. Goes back to Charlesworth. Charlesworth will in the middle to O'Connor. Touch looking for Turner, but well won here on the left. And now they'll play it looking for Jallow, but Iggledon reads it well. Graves will peel off, trying to see if he can make something out of this, but it will just go out for the goal kick. 50 minutes gone in this game, 1-0 to the Steels. West Ham have equalised against Brighton. Mohamed Kudus, the scorer. As the ball's just been played and Dunstan's defence at the moment. Ball forward looking for Jallow. Iggledon can only head that out to play. It will be Dunston have a throwing in a good area now. And we have seen him use the long throw already in this game. So, thinking a long throw, but then it's actually going to go short to Turner. Back to McDonald. McDonald puts a low near crossing, bounces before Turner's able to clear it away. And then the header is just behind Turner here. Has to drop deep to get back to Crisp. And back to Turner, who's in his own half at the moment. Switched out to the right, and Tinko intercepts header, but it just goes back here to Turnbull, who will go forward. Deacon bundles in, but no free kick given, and the ball's cleared away. Rawson is offside, and Dunston will get a free kick, but it is in their own half. Well, free kick already quickly taken. It's out to the left to McDonald, and then back to Crisp, who had control on the halfway line, drills it forward, goes all the way through it. It actually was a pretty good pass in the end, but no one gambled on it. Back in Townsend's hands. Townsend launch forward, looking for Grejlak. Grejlak might go free here. Grejlak moves into the box. He hasn't got any help in the middle. His shot is blocked, and it will go out for a corner. The Stocksbridge get their first corner of the game. It was just one ball over the top. That a Dunston defence that has been brilliant since conceding the goal, and you could blame that on them thinking a foul had been given. Just suddenly turned off for a second. Grejlak was not in a great position, but had no one in the middle to aim at, so he had to take a shot. Blocked. Corner kick to the Steels. And Danny Deakin will take it. 12 assists for Danny Deakin this year. He'll be looking for magic number 13. Lucky number 13. Plenty of targets to aim at against a Dunston side. Look for that near post. Head away at the near post. And flicked on well by Robson. Be a battle for it, but it will be Turner who gets on, headed on. But Charlesworth will win it. Charlesworth returning it to the right side to Deacon, who puts it right into the box, but high and looped, Lowson will playing. Bridlington have had a man sent off against Belper, Simon Heslop. Stocksbridge have won the ball high up. Tinkley's in the middle. Rawson turns. Rawson shoots. Look for the near post. It's wide in the near post, and Lowson looked like he always had that covered. Goal kick is quickly taken. Morris needs to get back on side as the ball's cleared upfield. Owen heads away. Back it goes to Rory Edwards and forward and out to the right. Stockbridge needed to be solid on defence here. So it goes back to Chris. Switch out towards Turner, but Charles will head it away. But only back to Dunston. Good touch, will keep it in play for now. Back to McDonald. Not a great touch from him, and Breslik almost gets to it. Has to go back now to Lowson. Lowson controls though, and out it goes. So, out now to Walker, who send it upfield. Owen heads away, stays in play. Deacon heads it into the middle to Turner, who tried to knock over to left. Gets it all wrong and knocks it over the bench, and now to play. More goals to say about Ashington, a 1-0 up on Bradford Park Avenue. Max Monaghan has scored, while Cleethorpes are 1-1 against Liversedge. Adam Hoare has scored from the spot. Dunston have got the game back underway now. Ball's just been switched to McDonald. He's just moving it into the midfield, not forward, but intercepted by Turner, but just into the air. Tries to slip through to O'Connor, and then Rawson, but loses the ball to Rory Edwards. Switch is now going here, and it just evades Morris, gets it to Neary, moves on the inside, puts the ball into the middle. Can he turn? Coulson turns, shoots, and goes out of play, and we're waiting to see what it is. It's going to be a goal kick or appeals for a penalty. Still not sure. They wanted a corner kick at least, Dunston, but a big appeal for a penalty from the Dunston team. Ian Johnston not giving it. Paul Eagledon was the man who was accused.
I know. I'm saving the battery. Okay, but
So we're back with Townsend now. Ball launched forward, look for Rawson. Man was climbing over him as it was headed away. Eagledon heads it out back into midfield. Edwards will return unchallenged. Turner then heads it back, bit of head tennis between the teams, and Turner then volleys it away for Tink, heads it right back to Edwards, who gets it forward to the right. Knocked over by Robson into the middle, and then Eagledon will head it away, looking for Rawson here, who heads it out to Greg, knocks it over the top, and Morris will chase, but Neary should have that covered. Booted right up into the air, and Tinker will head it out. It's a throw into Dunston. Dunston ricochet of box ball, and Grezlak's racing onto it, but Donald headed back to Lowson, and it will make it back to him. Quickly thrown out to McDonald. Takes a touch, good touch to cut him in the inside. Turner misses that tackle, ball goes forward, but Charles reads it. Back to Townsend it goes, who will boot it upfield right into the middle, and Edwards heads it right up into the air. Owen reads it well, heads it away, and this Owen, and a free kick is being given away from up. So does have a free kick about 30 yards out now. Not sure what that would give him for exactly, but Ian Johnson can do jump voices like that sometimes. Actually, a bit further out than I was. Oh, about 35 yards out. Will be very central. Chris McDonald and Harvey Neary over it. Newcastle United are 2-0 up on Ipswich Town. Dan Byrne scored, while Wolves are also 2-0 up against Leicester. Jen Stagg-Larson scorer. So Harvey Neary's been left alone for the cross.
just leave it. I'll get it later.
So Neary now puts the ball into the box, headed away by Owen. It's a race to be the first man onto it now, and it'll be Dunston, but Deacon then wins it off him. Tinker clears away. Grajlak's going to try and make this into a problem, just misjudges it, and then McDonald able to clear. Out for Charles off, heads into midfield, which bounces through everyone before Dunston's able to clear it out, and the clearance is aimed towards Turner, and Charles has gone over the top of Turner, and it will be another free kick Dunston. So Stocksbridge is giving away a few death fouls at the moment and allowing Dunston, with their brilliant crosses and deliveries, to have chances to get the ball into the box. So McDonald with this free kick. Left-footed, high one, looking for that far post. Header just goes back into the box and out to the edge of the area. Turner trying to get into it. Deakin wins it well. Deakin be forced back into his own box where he clears it away. He's looking for Morris with that run, but Edwards will be able to just get that one away. Up forward, battled for, and then back to the right. Back in defence now for Dunston, who are taking control of this game as they did in the first half for a large portions. But Charles got the tackle in, knocked away into midfield again, and then back it goes to Walker, who redistributes down the right wing. It's overhit though, and it will go out for a goal kick despite the best efforts of Alfie Turnbull on the right. So Townsend goal kick, 58 minutes gone in this game. Townsend now with the goal kick. Launching it forward. Headed away and then right back goes forward. Bounces favourably for Morris. He's onside Morris. Morris takes a shot, skims wide of the far post. It's actually further away than we thought it was going to be initially. This is where Steels are getting opportunities. Little tiny mistakes in the Dunston defence, like in Stocksbridge from time to time. They just need to take another to really ease the nerves. Taken short by Lowson into the defence. Not long. Charles will look to win it, but headed on but well by Turner. Eagledon reads it well, goes on, Grezak heads it on, but only back for Walker, who plays that into defence. And here come Dunston forward, Jallow lofts one forward. Owen heads away well. Back to Turner though, and the attack will continue. Just doubles back, has to do a little bit of a U-turn into midfield, and now drops into Edwards, the deepest midfielder. Got plenty of options as he said we'll take the short one to Jack Walker. Now out to Neary, who's been pressed and he evades a tackle from Morris. Neary cutting in the inside, goes to Turner. Turner shapes up, he's going to take a shot, drilled shot well wide from Turner. Bit of a selfish one from Dan Turner. Had quite a few good options to build the attack. Instead went for himself, and that wasn't ever going to challenge Townsend. Morecambe have equalised through Chesterfield. Jordan Slew has scored. Former Sheffield United striker. So Townsend will have this goal kick now. Brighouse are 2-1 up against Sheffield FC. Reese Platter the scorer. Launch forward by Townsend. Headed right, go juggled in midfield, but then headed away by Turner. And it's a break on. Knocked over the top, look for Robson. Owen's the man in front of him. He's going to take the shot, and it's easy at the near post for Townsend. 61 minutes gone in this game, 1-0 to the Steels. Townsend will take opportunity here. He will send the ball away. Can Stockbridge just hold the ball? Because Dunston is finding a few more openings. McDonald will head that away. Turner on the ball. Knocks it over Charles, looking for Jallow. Headed away by Eagledon into midfield. And well controlled by Coulson. Now to Edwards. Edwards, great ball, looking for the rabbit. Tinker reads it really well. Gets through to Morris, who's trying to find Tinker, but just not a clean enough connection. And now Tinker needs to get back in position, really. Deacon's dropped into left back at the moment. As McDonald on the left-hand side for Dunston puts the cross in, good-looking cross. Met by Neary, who no one had spotted, but he doesn't get the connection on it, and he goes right at Townsend. No one had picked up Harvey Neary. I think that's where Deakin would have had if he were not in left back. And now Townsend has the ball in safely in his arms. Ball launched forward. Look for Rawson, which should have been pulled down, nothing given us. Ball goes, it's going to go back to Rawson, tries to head back in midfield, loses it, but then Stocks headed forward, and Neary will just volley that one away. Owen reads it, goes for blocked by Turnbull, but goes out for a Stocksbridge throw inside Dunstan's half. Ball launched forward, then cleared away. Another Stocksbridge throw a bit further down the line. With Tinker again. Tinker high, lofted one, look for Rawson, headed into the middle. Bridlington trying to bring it down. It goes down, but Coulson clears. Off one, Turner gets it out to the right to Charles. If he can turn, he might have a chance here. O'Connor's a willing runner. O'Connor is almost found, but knocked away by Coulson, throwing for Stocksbridge. At the very least, it's Stocksbridge having the ball in the right part of the pitch. Ball goes to Grejlak, looking to turn, trying to get on his leg. Looks away, he's tripped, Grejlak, and no free kick given. And then what was the referee doing on that occasion? But now we have got the counter. Ball slipped through. It could be through here. Townsend out to clear. The referee was slowing down to give the free kick, and then Grejlak is getting given a booking. They give it, I think it must be given for simulation, but it was the fact he delayed it, looking like he was going to give it, and then immediately, when the break happened, how did it go on? So it'll be a yellow card for Oliver Grejlak. Absolutely, well, referee's not made himself well liked by either set of fans here today. Townsend, they raced out very well. Saved the game on that occasion. 64 minutes gone. As Dunston have it on the right hand side here. Morris makes a good block there from the pass from Edwards. Back to Deacon and knocks it over the top. Ross is going to bow for it, but knocked away well by Walker. And into midfield, and Iggledon will send down. Grejlak's in a battle for this one as it bounces over. Grejlak gets a bit of a push, but we'll just go back to Lawson. I think Grejlak might, with his frustration now increasing, and he's not rushing back into position. I won't be shocked if Tommy Marshall coming on. Tommy Marshall is actually now warming up on the sideline, getting his shirt on. And the ball just goes over the top of Turner, out for a Steele's throw. So here comes Dunston's substitution first, and Jallo is going to be heading off. He's going to be playing. So that's Liam Fear, who scored twice at Brecon Moor 2 seasons ago. He will come on. Has got a good record of goals against the Steels. He will replace Sado Jallo. Very good long distance shot on him. Tommy Marshall will wait a bit longer, but he is ready to come on. Ooh, interesting. Consett have got one back against Emley. Mark Costello, the scorer. 2-1 to Emley at the moment. Bishop Auckland also scored one against Carlton Town. 2-1 there. Joe Bartlett has scored for Bishop Auckland. It's a good header on there by Robson. Townsend's had to go out, and he'll just allow it to bounce in his box before collecting it. So Townsend now will boot that one away. Grejlak looking for it, and he'll head it on looking for Rawson, but couldn't get beyond JJ Chris there. It's out for a goal kick. 66.5 minutes gone in this game. Ball goes to the right here. As Dunston play it from the back. Walker on the ball now. We'll get it back to Lawson. Takes a touch, sends it long. Turner will head it away, and Morris tries to get on to it. He'll boot it on, and Rawson just shrugged his shoulder rather than go for that. It was surprising. Steels need to go for every ball still. 2-0 is what we need really with the way Dunstan's attack has been this season. Turner knocks it over the top. Looking for Rawson, who might have got on the right side of the defence, and Rawson gets it, it's going to go down. He goes down too easy there really. He wants the free kick. Goes down too easy under the challenger Crisp, and just lets it down. Steele's just making a few daft decisions at the moment, but Tinker wins it well. He's going forward now, Tinker, as well, goes to Grejlak. Tinker's on the left, ball trying to find Rawson though, and he doesn't make it, and cleared away, but only to O'Connor. Slides to keep it, does well, keep it well, trying to keep it, then loses it to Steele's. So just about keeping the ball though, because it went back to Curtis Turner there. Out to O'Connor, tried to find the right block, and now it goes to Fear. We'll look to get the beat of Iggulden, their shirt was pulled on Iggulden, nothing given as Iggulden clears it out for a throw-in. Here comes a substitute. It is going to be James Morris coming off. He will be replaced by Tommy Marshall. Marshall has done really well coming off the bench in recent weeks. He'd want to start, but you can't fault his effort coming off the bench. Scored off the bench against Bridlington last Saturday. His pace will offer a very different challenge to James Morris's physicality. Marshall will come here on the right wing, Grezlak switch to the left. So it's a different challenge for Neary as well, which I think is what's necessary. Launch forward. Charles gets on the back, peels for both teams to throw in, but Stocksbridge will clear it, but he will be given. Well, the referee is giving it as a Stocksbridge throw, while the linesman gave it initially as a Dunston throw, leading to some annoyance. Chris McDonald really not happy with it. So ball back with Charlesworth now. But Dunston are going to make a substitution before that. And it looks like the big guns are coming on. Craig Baxter's one of the men coming on. And JJ O'Donnell is also heading on, one of the big danger men for Dunston. He's a man who can take the chances that Dunston have yet to take. So Dan Turner's one of the people who's gone off. We didn't catch the other name. We can't see the numbers because of the sunlight on the board. So again, looks like it's Chris McDonald, the other one, so a straight swap at left back. As Marshall now tries to go through, but well won by Baxter and then cleared away. Tinkle win it, heads it forward, looking for Grezlak, north side, and the ball goes out. Both teams appear for it, will be Dunston's throw. Ball forward, launch forward. Turner can only head behind, but Owen will have it. Owen sends forward, shot blocked by Robson. It'll skew out and it goes over to JJ O'Donnell, who's taken place on the right wing. Back to Neary and O'Donnell, dropping deep. And then back into defence. Over to Chris now, who carries it forward, got the space. Deakin will press. Send it over now here to Walker, controlled it well. Out to the left, Charles goes in with a tackle, stays in play, but back in the defence it will go. Being controlled well and then launch forward. And it will go out to play for a throw-in. Stocksbridge get the ball back. So back now with Charlesworth. Takes his time with it, sends it forward, but head up into the air by Chris. Battle to keep it in for Dunston, but it doesn't do so. Well, the referee says it has done, so the game will continue despite Stocksbridge's protest. What's forward now, knocked out to the logs, the left towards JJ O'Donnell. Putting a cross in towards JJ, Turner will block it and then it's cleared away. But only back now to Baxter. Gives it back to Chris. Knocks it over the top. Charlesworth heads it away. Marshall has it. Tries to knock it forward, blocked. Stocksbridge throw. So back with Charlesworth for this throwing. Ball has been sent on. We've just been waiting for a football because I think it went after that block. It did go out to the ground. So Charlesworth now, can the Steels get the ball downfield and get a second nerve-easing goal? Well, looking for Marshall, turnover, but Locks is going to go back to Lowson and Grezlak press it because it took a little spin there and Grezlak so close to getting into that. Iggulden will head the clearance away. Tinker onto the second one, heads it towards the right. O'Connor will race onto it, heads it forward to Marshall. Tries to get it under control. Little slamming tackle. Marshall puts it through the legs of a defender and now on the right will look to keep the ball and try and get it forward, but well robbed by Coulson. Back into defence it'll go, and weird sliding block, but it does get it away. Deakin wins the ball out to Turner. Turner trying to get down the right. Very congested area though, as they look for Marshall to try and keep it in here. Doesn't do so, but it will go out for a Dunston throw. On the left hand side here with McDonald, launches it downhill. Charlesworth will return it down again. Headed away up into the air. Turner will get onto it, gets a touch going forward, tries to get a second touch. It's took a little deflection out to the left and won by O'Donnell. Turns it back into defence and out to the right, and Dunston will now be able to play it away. And it's a good little run here from Neary, who's gone diagonal onto the left hand side. Turns, now will switch it. Stocksbridge a bit outnumbered on this side, and Robson's got the header there trying to keep it in. Sliding tackle this aside, net in the end will be a corner kick though. Stocksbridge have a corner to deal with. So, corner kick for Seals to defend. Stocksbridge can't afford to concede really. Would move them down to 5th, and it would mean returning to Dunston on Tuesday night. That's not what Stocksbridge want. Townsend's trying to organise them, pick up every man. Deacon's going to have to drop deeper in landing. I think he would like to. Right now it looks like JJ O'Donnell's unmarked. I don't know who's got him. That's Deacon's moving on to him. That's not who I'd want on him personally, but we will hopefully the Seals will be able to defend it. Here comes the corner. It's a good looking corner, but Turner heads away at the near post. Marshall trying to turn his man. Is able to turn him, and now Marshall will go loose. It's a counter attack. Only Turner there with him. Gives it to Turner. Finds it back to Marshall. Marshall on the left hand side, face it with Chris. Dunston have got back really well. Marshall just slowing it down, trying to get beyond his man. Does get beyond his man. Into the mark. The tackle goes in, and the Steels now have their own corner. Brilliant work from Tommy Marshall. That is exactly what you want from a counter-attack after a corner. Now the Steels have their own opportunity. Second corner of the game, Curtis Turner's first from the left. Barnsley have got one back in Shrewsbury. Russell the scorer. 2-1 to Shrewsbury there. Can this set piece make the difference? Turner and Rays. Sends the corner in, look for that far post where Owen is. Owen gets the header, bounces, blocked, and it's still in play. Owen slices it clear away. Owen with the Rosa with the volley, still cleared off the line. Stocksbridge somehow haven't doubled the lead. Clear away, but O'Connor wins it. Can he get it back to the right where Marshall's free? No, Eildon gets it to it. Grajlak now. Now it goes to Marshall on the right. O'Connor needs to open up into a bit of space. Back to O'Connor, who's on the left, puts a cross in. Look for the far post where Owen stayed up. It's gone beyond him, and then Neary will clear it out. And it will go out of play for a throw. Stocksbridge so close to doubling the lead there. Would have been a massive, massive goal that. The Tinkers take half this throw in now. I think Dunston are getting ready another substitute. I think even though they're resting players, they still want to win this one. As Rawson heads this one on. Deakin trying to get onto it. Just bouncing the box, but well won by Edwards, who's had a really good game in central midfield for Dunston. Ball goes forward all the way to Fear, who holds it up back in field. Rawson there just goes into the back of his man. It will be a free kick. 76 minutes gone, 1-0 to the Steels still. Chesterfield 3-1 up on Morecambe. Ola Kigby, the scorer. Sent out to the left here to the number 6, Chris. Controls it, looks to the diagonal, but Tinker is able to head it away. Grajlak will volley it forward. Rawson trying to get control of it here, but loses it and just going to bounce in midfield. Bit of heading battle. Turner gets the next one, and it's just going to be very physical in that midfield. But Stocksbridge will get a throw in out of it. And here comes another sub. So it's Harvey Neary coming off. It's a bit surprising. He's had a great game. seen a number. And that's another attacking option for Dunston. They are definitely trying not to lose this one. As Dunstan's biggest firepower is now on the pitch. Ball launched downward, headed on, but headed away. Midfield. He goes into midfield. Tommy Marshall gets it, and Charlesworth has it on the right. Bit of space opens up, slips it forward to Grezlak, tries to turn. Well timed standing tackle. Stop Grezlak moving in. Cleared into the midfield, chested down well. Tinker though has read it well, but there's going to be a free kick here. No. It's Curtis Turner, who, for reasons, is going to be given a booking. Some of these bookings have been out of nowhere. Shadow Charlie got booked in the first half, but we didn't notice as well. So 3 bookings apiece for each side now. As Craig Baxter will try to get this ball into the box. Out to the left quickly to Turnbull. Cross going into the box towards the far post. Owen will head it away, then head it back into the box. Eagledon clears it, but only into the sky really. Headed back into the box. Owen, big clean clearance, just what they needed. Ball's going to go all the way back to Loughton, who's come well out of his box to get to it, but no, he won't be pressed. As ball launched forward, Rawson's dropped deep. Eagledon will get it away. Deakin knocks it on. Goes on the top, can Marshall get to it, but Dunston man's down, so Marshall going to, but Grezlak was pressing. Back to Loughton it goes. Loughton takes the touch. Sends it forward. Headed on, looking for Turnbull, but he can't get a touch, and it is going to go out for a Stocksbridge throw. So it's 3-2 between Woolwell and Durham District at the moment. Durham District just come on back. Ball goes forward, headed away. Turner will fight for it. Heads it forward, and late contact between 2 players. And now there'll be a stoppage just to check on JJ O'Donnell. Will be a Dunston throw-in though. No free kick given either way. I think it was a bit of a 50-51, so I think that was a fair decision by the ref. Ball is going to go back now to Loughton, who launched it forward. Eagledon will head it away and goes all the way back now into JJ Chris. Stocksbridge just giving position away a bit too weakly at the moment as Walker moves out well. Clips the ball into the box and it just goes beyond everyone, but it's going to be the right where Robinson rescues it. Launches a powerful shot from that wide angle over the bar, but a bit of a warning for the Steels. Hi, Paul Aldrich. So score has now changed due to Luke Corn into FWP. Yes, it was Luke Rawson. It was inputted wrong initially. I doubted myself for a second and said it was Aldrich because I did initially call it Luke Rawson, but I doubted myself, which obviously that's a lesson for everyone. Never doubt yourself. And it was definitely Luke Rawson. Heaton Stannington down in the league against North Ferriby. Andrew Byrne has scored. .81 minutes gone in this game. Skewed ball forward by Townsend. Tinker heads it on, which kept in play. Now with O'Donnell. Ball going forward to Fear. Trying to get down the right side. Good sliding times by Turner. Throw-in now for Dunston. There's going to be a stoppage here because there is an injury. Curtis Turner, the captain, is staying down. Liv Phillips will treat him here. As Thomas Poole's going to come on for the Steels soon. Thomas Poole come on and he will replace Danny Deakin. So the veteran forward midfielder Poole will come on to try and just shore this game up. Time continues to tick for the Steels. But the nerves continue to increase. Thrown forward, not back. Right, Dunston trying to get the ball forward. Switched out here to Chris. Out towards Walker here. Taking the touch. Back to Chris. Cross going in. Towards the far post. Good one, but Owen heads it away. Stocksbridge clear. Back to Edwards now. Takes the touch. Puts another ball into the box. Misses Eagleton's head, but goes out to right. Everyone's going to appeal for it. Marshall back to defend and gets a touch, and it will be a Dunston throw. Thrown out into the midfield. Knocked out to the left. Marshall takes a touch, going to go out, will be another Dunston throw. Just goes down to this little channel here. It's going to be taken very deeply by O'Donnell to an completely unmarked Baxter, who's going to move forward with it. Good pass to the right, just beyond Thomas Poole there, who's back in now. Thomas Poole will win the ball, goes out low for another Dunston throw, this time on the right-hand side. Thrown to Baxter, who's on that right-hand side. Ball forward, goes into the box, Owen clears it. And now, but it's just going to go all the way back to Chris. The Steel's just not getting any possession at the moment. Out to the left, and Charles winning. No, he's going to get to Turnbull, but Charlesworth gets the tackle in, out for another throw-in. Can Stocksbridge just get the ball, please, for the sake of my nerves? Ball goes back into the defence. It goes again. With Baxter, knocks it forward. We'll have to return back to Chris, who takes the touch. O'Connor's pressing. Slip from Chris. O'Connor should have a chance to get in, but he can't do so. Knocks it over the top, looking for Turnbull. Charles refuses his body well. Stop Turnbull going to it. Goal kick Steels. 84 minutes gone. 6 minutes of normal time remaining. Got a hell of a scoreline happening down in non-league. Dagenham and Redbridge winning 6-0 against Altrincham, which I've never been able to say. Townsend sending it long. Rawson heads it on well, and Poole's trying to get onto it. Gets the touch. Can he get the finish? No, blocked. Poole will get a second chance. Plays it out to O'Connor. O'Connor drills a shot, but it's going to be blocked and not cleared yet by Dunston. Now it is. Charlesworth will head it back to the right. O'Connor's going to try and chase to keep it in. Can't do so. Back into the defence it goes. Back to Lowson. Rawson's trying to press. He's getting blocked by Baxter doing so. Skew pass almost let Stocksbridge get onto it. Dunston keep the ball for now. Knocked over the top here. Eagleton will head it away into midfield. Then knocked on towards Turner. Back to Charlesworth, who knocks forward. Marshall tried to bring it down. Will go back to Lowson. 85.5 minutes gone. Steele's holding on. Ball to the right. Time being taken with Rawson pressing. Stocksbridge are trying to just keep Dunston in their own half, or at least make it tricky to get out. Reduce the stress on the defence. Baxter on the ball now. Deep furthest man back up than the keeper. Trim towards the right, towards O'Donnell. Back it goes. Clip forward, but Owen will head away. Poole fights for it, but Robson gets it forward. Eagleton heads it back out again. Pass in midfield, but just going to go back towards Robinson. Robinson holding up the ball well, gets to the right. Tink trying to meet with him. There he goes down. Free kick Dunston. Seals have another tricky free kick to defend. It's taken quickly, but Johnston's not having that. Our referee, and it will be Seals will be given a chance to get back in position. Brighton have equalised against West Ham. Mitoma the score 2-2. And Wolves 3-0 upon Leicester. Martins Gomez. To the right here. Dunston have played it short and now find the overlap. It's really good play. Poole trying to defend. Cross goes in block, gets to Turner. Turner loses it. Goes for a penalty. And it's going to be given as a dive and a free kick and a yellow. And to be fair, I think Stocksbridge may have got a bit lucky on that one. There was definitely a bit of contact there. Whether it was enough for a penalty, I think it's unfair he's getting a yellow card for a dive, to be honest, because there was definitely some contact. Whether it's enough for a penalty is the question. It's gone down with cramp at the very least. That is a sigh of relief for Stocksbridge. And it is Turnbull who's being given the yellow card Dunston's 4th yellow of the game. So back with Townsend now for the free kick. Let off for Stocksbridge. Hearts are beating faster and faster and faster if you're of a Stocksbridge persuasion. How are you all holding up at home? Ball going forward. Poole heads to keep it in. Marshall's trying to race onto it. It's going to go back to the goalkeeper. He's just able to clear it up very high and into the air. Going to be challenged for in the air. Turning its head out to the left. Poole volleys it forward. Whale to hit, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. 88 minutes gone. Stocksbridge just looking to hold on. Short one to Baxter. He'll take it forward. Rawson will press. Into the midfield. Looking for the switch here. Looking for the number 5 of Jack Walker, but Charles Vincent back to Townsend, who launches it forward, but it's a bit aimless, and Dunston will just get the ball back here. Looks like Rawson's on his last legs here, to be honest, as the ball is going to have to go back to Lowson after that pressing. Back to the goalkeeper. Out to his box he goes, Lowson. Got his short options, but now we'll launch it forward. Looking here for Walker, but headed away by Eagledon. Goes forward, and Marshall looks to win the ball here, gets it out to middle. Grejlak can go, charge through the middle here. Grejlak trying to find Rawson. Rawson gets the touch, but he got 2 men in front of him. Rawson trying to slip through Grejlak. It's overhit. Grejlak trying to battle for it. Lowson able to claim it. Stocksbridge had a really good chance there, but just didn't work out. 89 minutes gone. Launch forward. Turner tried to get a touch onto it, failed to do so, but it was enough for O'Connor to win it. In the middle to Turner, who tries to get it out towards the left. No one's there for it though. Throw in to Dunston. Also the right, and tried to be kept in by Walker. Marshall will press now, but back into defence will go to Chris. So 5 minutes for the Steels to hold on. Can they do it against one of the best teams in the league? Not if they give fouls away like that. Dunston have a chance to put the ball into the box. And Dunston wants to quickly take it. They're not going to be allowed to. I think because Tom Charles is going to be summoned over. He'll get a talk to. It might be a booking for him. And it will be a 4th booking for Tom Charlesworth, who, despite the appeal of the man in the crowd, is not being booked for his headband. Ball goes towards the left-hand side. They want the crossing from here, from Liam Fear. He's trying to get through Charlesworth. Charlesworth's got the touch, trying to get it away from him. Charlesworth gets it away. Now Marshall will get it. Can he just clear it away? No, and he does end up just getting it off Fear and out for a Stocksbridge throw. The nerves continue. Get your squeaky bum cream out, Stocksbridge fans. You're going to need it. Belper have definitely won 2-0 against Bridlington Town. That's a full-time score. The Belper are in the playoffs. Ball goes back. Marshall goes in. Could have been a foul, that. Instead tries to take the second, but it's just voted out for a throw. And Marshall is cheering that like it's a goal. You know how much it matters to him.
Keep going, Steele, to the ends, lads, come on! Keep working!
1.5 minutes gone of added time. Charlesworth shouting orders out. Launch down. Look for Marshall, who just can't hook onto it right. It goes out to play for a Dunston throw. And he's going to go back into defence to Baxter. It will start from this attack will start from Dunston's own box. Carrying it forward. Launch diagonally. Aim towards Robinson. Eagledon will head it away, but it just falls to O'Donnell. Tries to get out to left. Does do so to Walker now. Marshall pressing. Back it goes to Coulson. Now all the way back to Chris. O'Connor trying to press, but Chris will get past O'Connor. Gets the pass forward. Looking for Robson. It's good work, Robson, onto the left-hand side of the box. Back it goes to Walker. And out to the left to O'Donnell, no offside. Ball looks for that far post. Owen heads it away, but only to the edge of the area. Robson's trying to tee it up, and then well run by Turner. Still Dunston ball. Short pass gets it to Poole, and Poole will launch it away for Rawson to try and chase. And Rawson will get it on the left-hand side. He just needs to take it into the corner flag at this point if he can do so. He gets beyond, and Baxter, tackle goes in. Rawson still got it, but he is going to go towards the corner flag and try and keep it in. Tackle goes in. Dunston now have the ball, but Turner's going in, and Turner gives away the foul. So he's got quick free kick strictly taken for Lawson, who's coming out his box. 3 minutes have gone at a time. Ball goes to the right. Into defence. Crisp. Crisp continuing with the ball. I've got myself a therapy dog by the side of me to get me through it. As it's Dunston on the ball, clipping the ball forward. Gets it to Robinson. Tackles from Tinker, trying to get it out, and then Tinker does clear it away. Rawson will head it on as well. It's going to go all the way back to Lawson. 93.5 minutes now gone. But the news is that Newton Aycliffe have drawn 0-0, so unless Dunston score twice, Stocksbridge definitely in the playoffs. They just need to keep this win to confirm home advantage for the playoffs, something they've not had since 2009 in a playoff match. Ball clipped in, headed away by Owen. Goes out to O'Donnell. Marshall control it, back to O'Connor, clears it away. Back it goes to Chris. Only man back, no one pressing him. 94 minutes gone. Out towards, it's a miss-hit pass. It's out for a throw-in. The last time Stocksbridge had home advantage in the playoffs, they were promoted, beating Carlton Town and Belper on the way. That's why it's so important. So it's back with Tinker for the throw-in now. Launch upfield. Rawson heads it on. Marshall tries to get in control, but the tackle goes in. Clipped out to left where it's Walker. Walker sends it upfield. Tinker will head it away. To Poole, who then hooks it onto Rawson, trying to hold it up, but it's cleared away to Coulson. Back out into defence to Baxter. Holds it under pressure from Rawson. Baxter tackled, but it's going to be a foul. 95 minutes have now gone. Ball goes forward. Owen will head it away. Waiting for the full-time whistle. There it is! The Steels are going to the playoffs. They've held on after scoring after just 72 seconds. Third place is secure. As I just said, last time we got third place, we were promoted from the playoffs. And another big chance with a team with one of the smallest budgets in the league, finish third in the table. Dunston, which will likely be in our future. Someone has to beat them at here. But Stockbridge have just proven they can do it. Thank you very, very much to everyone who has been listening. We will see you on Tuesday night, because as it looks like as we see, we will be facing Belper Town at home at Brackenmore. We will see you then. I've been Adam Allcroft. Thank you very much. Good night.